Hey everybody, so welcome to the fourth video in our Scratch coding series. Now if you notice, all the other videos I was, starting with the game and we kept adding things to it. And now I'm back here. Why am I back here? Well, because this is the point where I teach you a valuable lesson. Remember how I said you don't need an account in Scratch to make things, you need an account in Scratch to save things? Well, my computer crashed, and when it crashed, I lost all my work. And so poor old Mr. Rainey has to start over. Now, if I had my parents make me an account, because you're not using your school account, but if I had my parents make me an account and they gave me my username and password, I could have signed in, clicked create. I know I'm signed in because it's got my little username up there. And then as I was working on my project, I could have saved it inside Scratch. So that way when I went back to Scratch, Scratch would have my game already saved. I could just click right there on File and say Save Now. I could even give my game a name, call it Race Game 2021, and save it. Then if I click on this little folder here, I should see, all the games I've ever made and I've saved. Might take it a minute. Oh, there it is, Race Game 2021. So now I have a blank racing game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start over. This is kind of your chance to do what's called a code review, just to make sure that your code looks solid, it looks good. It does everything it needs to. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to delete my Scratch Cat. I'm going to turn him into a car. So we're going to add a sprite. I believe I had a food truck. Gotta go with that one. I'm going to shrink my food truck. See, I've got the food truck highlighted. I'm going to shrink him down to size. I'll make him 20%. I'm not going to worry about the background right now because in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to add a little more functionality to our game. Okay, so let's see. Real quickly, we said we want left and right. Right? So left and right. When we press the left key, we need to turn left. We want to turn right, we need to press the right key. We also need our game we need to tell Scratch, hey, when we click the little green flag, car needs to start going, right? And we used a forever loop to do that, right? We said, hey, when the green flag is clicked, forever, do whatever's in the dinosaur's mouth there. In this case, we're going to say move, I don't know, about 3 steps. Okay, make sure my game works. Yep, there we go. Fully functional. Okay, I'm going to press the stop button. Now here we go. We talked in the last video about how our game technically is a game now, but it's not the best. For example, like normally you don't just go at the same speed, right? Like in a real game, you'd be able to speed up and slow down using a different key. So let's add that function to our game. Our goal now is that this, hey, forever move 3 steps, I need that number to change. Maybe I want the user to be able to say, hey, I want to go really fast, or hey, I want to go really slow. Maybe even I want to go backwards. So we need this number to vary, V-A-R-Y, vary. Vary means change. Right now, if our user wanted to, they could click on the green flag and go in here and type like, I want to go faster. And they could do it like that. But that's kind of a terrible way to do it. I mean, it works, but you don't want to have to make people playing your game type things in, right? Not they don't need to. The cool thing is computers understand this. We say computers are dumb, but we program them to do some pretty smart things sometimes. For example, down here there's this thing that says variables. It's like a darker, almost like a University of Texas orange, right? Burnt orange. Click on that. Okay, this is where sometimes people get into a little trouble because it's very easy to get confused. All these things kind of look the same. They're actually very different. So do exactly what I do. If you need to pause the video and do the step-by-step, that's not a bad idea because this is where people get lost. We want to make a variable. A variable is just a fancy word for something that the person playing our game can change. Now, we have to name our variable because as we make more games, today we're making 1 variable. It's going to be very simple. Later on, you might make a game that has 20 variables. And one thing that's going to be really important is you need to know what those variables are and what they do. So we're going to give this a very simple name. We're going to call our variable car underscore speed. car underscore speed. And we're going to make sure this is clicked. It says for all sprites. And then click OK. Okay, we just made a new variable. Now, what's interesting is before we made that variable, I didn't have this little, see how it says now it says car speed and there's a little check mark by it? That wasn't there before. Now, what's kind of weird about this is we need to tell Scratch, hey, that variable, right now, it could be any number in the universe. It could be 1, it could be 1 trillion, it could be 68, it could be -50. We need to tell Scratch, hey, when you start the game, make that variable, that car, oh, look, it's over there, car speed 0. It's set to 0 right now. Let's change that. We're going to drag this thing that says set car speed to 0. We're going to drag it, and it is going to go in between the green flag and the forever loop. See that? It's got to go in between. If you put it down here, it's not going to work. It's got to go right here. Because when we click the green flag, we want Scratch, because Scratch does everything from top to bottom. So when you click the green flag, the first thing Scratch is going to do is going to say, okay, hey, I see this. You said set car speed to 0. It'll change 0. Why don't we try this? Let's change it to 3. Okay, we're going to say set car speed to 3. Let's press our green flag. Okay, notice how the number up there changed? Let's set car speed to, I'm just testing here, to 10. Oh, look, it turned into 10. And do you see our car isn't actually going any faster? We made a variable, but we're not using it. We're getting ready to use it. I'm going to change this back to 3. I think that's a good start. See this one up here that just looks like a little pill? It says car speed. We're going to take this and we're going to drag it, and we are going to put it inside of this blue block that says move 1 steps. If I put it right there, see how it kind of lights up? It has to go right there, exactly. If it doesn't fit like mine just did, it's not going to work for you. Make sure it goes, oops, make sure it goes right inside there so it takes over that little circle. Okay, now let's try clicking our green flag. Okay, my car is going. What happens if I type in, hey, set car speed to 5? Green flag. Oh, I'm going back. Oh, see how it changed to 5? Okay, set car speed to 15. Click the green flag. Whoa, okay. Mr. Rainey, you dunce. You didn't fix anything. You just made a more complicated way of making the person type in a number. To the untrained eye, yes. Let's say we're not done. Because now what we're going to do, I'm going to turn this back into 3. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pull the greatest trick. We're going to tell Scratch to let the person playing our game change that variable. We're going to make the game start at 3, but we're going to let the user change that number with just a simple key. All right, so I've got left and right. We're going to go back to events. And we're going to click on, we're going to drag one of these as when space key pressed. Let's change this. I think it would make sense if left and right arrows make us turn. I think the up arrow should make us go faster. Let's do this. Say when up arrow key is pressed. We're going to go back down here to variables. And we're going to say, this is another point where a lot of people make a silly mistake. I mean, it's easy to do. Up here, we said set car speed to 3. Down here, we're going to say change car speed by 1. Make sure it clicks right there on the when up arrow key is pressed. Now check this out. If you click the green flag, your little car should start driving. If you now press the up arrow, your car should start going faster. Look at that. You notice I'm not typing anymore, right? I'm just pressing the up arrow. Okay, I'm at the point now where I can't really control my car anymore. I go too fast. Ah! Okay, and I know some of you at this point are setting it to car speed. You just keep pressing the up arrow until it gets to like 1 billion. It's fun to do that. Now, if I click the stop button, I click the green arrow again, or green flag again, guess what? car speed goes back to 3. Because every time I click the green flag, Scratch says, cool. You click the green flag, set the car speed to 3, move forever. So every time you click that green flag, it just kind of restarts over, right? Oh, ignore that noise. Okay. Now, we just made it to where our car can go faster, but maybe I want it to where our car can go slower too. All right, I'm going to show you a really cool trick because I bet a lot of you are like, oh, I know what to do. Go get another one of these when up arrow key is pressed. Go get another one of these, change car speed by. I bet you, Miss Rainey, you're going to tell us to do another one of those, but then make it -1 and use the down arrow. Totally true. But hey, check this out. I'll show you. As you get better at coding, you'll learn little tricks that will make you a lot faster. For example, I need this exact same thing again right here. I just need to change a couple things. If you right click on any code that you've made, there's this thing that says duplicate. That's a fancy word for make a copy of. If you right click on the code and say that you want, so we want this, we can just say, hey, make a copy, duplicate it. Oh, look at that. The exact same code just showed up. Now all we need to do is we're going to take this second copy and we're going to say, when you press the down arrow, take car speed and make it we're going to take away 1. So when we press the up arrow, I want it to be positive, add 1. We say increment. When we press the down arrow, we want to take away, subtract. We would say decrement. Increment means add 1, decrement means subtract 1. So now let's test our game and make sure it works. When you press the green flag, car starts at 3. Press the up key, going faster. Okay, if I press the down arrow, oh, look at that. I can go backwards now. I can go really fast backwards. Oh, boy. We're zooming. Okay. Look at that. Is your game perfect? No. But did you add more functionality to your game? Yes. Now your player can change their speed. They're in control of how fast they go. We didn't have that before. Man, you've learned a lot so far. I'm very impressed. In the next video, we'll think about, should we start setting up some rules for our game? Because right now I know you have a little track or a castle or whatever you want the background to be, but maybe we could set our game up to where there's rules to it, so the person's not just driving a car around a screen that doesn't really do anything. So let's think about that. In the next video, let's try and add something in.